Hey guys, I am going to be talking about mental health, and I'm going to do a very small mental health update. I like to do them 6 months at a time because within the last 2 months nothing much has happened, but I lied to you because a lot of things have been happening. So if you didn't already know, I really don't know how to make my videos anymore because I don't know if I can swear, if I can controversial topics or anything like that, if I can even talk about mental health. I don't even know what I'm allowed to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go here and watch my video where I make a rant and complain about YouTube's new guidelines, which state that you need to, you can't, in order to monetize your videos, you need to not swear and not have controversial content, not be naked. I'm like, are you kidding? Whatever. Partial nudity. If you, whatever, just go. Right, click on my face. So, what am I talking about today that has changed so much since my last mental health update? Well, here's the deal. Last time we talked, I told you I was getting off my medication, and I'm weaning myself off. There's no way I'm going off as fast as I possibly can. That's not happening. I'm actually still on the medication. I don't want to say it because I don't think I can monetize my videos, but it starts with a W. And I want to be able to monetize my videos because honestly, it's the only way that I can pay my cell phone bill. My medication that I'm on, I've been on for a long time now, and I'm weaning myself off. I talked to my psychiatrist. He told me that there's research that says that the longer you wean yourself off, the better it is, so that's what we're doing. I am on my last month of medication, which I'm okay with. I am feeling really confident that this is okay. But I want to talk about the amount of mental work and emotional work that I've had to do in the road trip that I just came back from. So I have not posted a video about the road trip, but I was away for about 22 days on a cross-country trip from Montreal to Vancouver, Vancouver to Montreal, and then Montreal to upstate New York to bring the car back and then back here. It's very exhausting to talk about because it was long, but I was moving Zuja back from Vancouver, so their dad lent me their car and paid for the gas and everything, and we camped along the way, so it was a really cheap trip, which I'm very fortunate to have to be able to do that. But I mean I was doing someone a favor, but also I was like, I volunteer, I'll do it, I'll go on a cross-country trip, thank you. But I mentally prepared myself to know that I wasn't going to be alone for 21 days. I knew this because I was going to be around the person that I was driving with, my friend, and then on the way back, I knew that Zuja and that friend were going to be back, so there was no way I was going to be alone. And it was okay at first, but what I want to talk about is some things that I've realized about my mental health and how I always feel guilty that I love being alone. And because I had such an issue with being alone before, I could not stand being alone. I needed to be around people. I was so scared to be abandoned and all this stuff. But I feel like I got so used to being alone that now it's bad because I don't want to be around people, and I kind of seclude myself, and I don't want to date anyone, and I don't know, it's a weird feeling that I'm having, and I feel guilty about having that feeling because I feel like I'm young, I should be enjoying my youth. I'm going to regret this when I'm older. I'm not going outside, I'm not seeing my friends. I just kind of feel depressed at home, or I feel really great when I'm at home alone on my bed watching TV, making videos, editing with the cats. And when I say alone, I don't mean alone. I mean Ash and Aaron will come over, but that's not me going outside and you know what I mean? It's different. So for the last 2 years, I've been on and off practicing and doing DBT, which is dialectical behavioral therapy, and behavior therapy, whatever. It's the type of therapy that people do when they have borderline personality disorder, which I'm not saying I have. I don't have a diagnosis, but I have a lot of the traits, which a lot of people want me to talk about, and I get it because a lot of people may think that they have it or have a diagnosis or whatever, but honestly it's not something I'm really comfortable talking about, but whatever, not the point. So I have this workbook here. Since I can't afford therapy, I do it on my own, and it's very hard to do it on your own, but there are so many amazing tools that I have found from therapy and from this book about how to not control my emotions, because I have a lot of issues with reacting to things that happen, especially reacting to things that I don't expect. So that's why I like to plan everything so much. The road trip, I planned all of our meals, I planned everything, and when things went not according to plan, which I know we should be relaxed and stuff like that, but to me making a plan is being relaxed, and I felt no stress. I was like, this is great, everything is planned, I'm fine. But I hate that it's when something would derail a little bit. I was fine, I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. This is just a little hit. We're fine. We're fine. But then some more things started to happen and I felt a lot of anxiety. And it was really hard for me to remember what to do. So there's certain things that I do where I disassociate a lot, and the second I start talking about it, I start to disassociate. 90% of my daily life where I'm awake, I am disassociating. Which is like terrifying. If you don't know what that is, like Google it. But I also don't want to talk about that. People want me to make full videos on that. It's not going to happen because I literally won't be in the room. I will feel like I'm like floating in the air if I talk about it too much. But I've been dissociating since I was 13 or something, 13. But yeah, so the point of this is that I know kind of how to get myself back. I still disassociate, but I'm just getting myself back into the room. I'm here. I know what I'm doing. Whereas other times I'm just kind of floating around. This floating around happened a lot on the end of this trip. So I realized that if I'm not alone, even though like, I'm sorry, this is kind of all over the place. When I'm alone at home, I don't like, this is what I have to do. I need to do this, this, this. I do a lot of thinking about things that I had done before, like anxious, people who are anxious, anyone does this. They think about things they did 8 years ago and they want to die. Like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Like the person doesn't even remember what you did, but you're just like, oh my God. I do that a lot about events that have just happened and I kind of replay them in my mind nonstop, blah, blah, blah. It's really annoying. But in doing that, I've learned to like, oh, this is how I should have reacted to that. I should have been a bit more quicker to do this, and I should have done that. So it is a learning experience. I hate that I have to do that, but it has helped me a lot over the last years, and I feel like I am a calmer person for doing that. I don't have anger issues, but sometimes something kind of triggers me, like literally triggers me, no joke, and I feel like empty. It's a weird feeling. I just feel like angry, like it's like that of anger, and it's really scary to have. So I'm able to, okay, this is what I did. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm able to calm myself from situation. If Aaron comes over and we talk about some things, then he goes home and then he texts me, like, I didn't like that you did this. My automatic reaction is I freak out. Like, I freak out. I'm alone, by the way, when this happens. I get a text message or something like that. I'm alone, I freak out. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna be abandoned. I feel like my friends are gonna leave me. I feel like I'm a piece of shit. All of these things that happen. And then I have to calm myself down. So I have learned to distract myself. Not distract myself and ignore the problem, but no, distract myself so that my body and my mind can calm down. So I watch Big Brother, I watch MasterChef Australia, I watch American Ninja Warrior, I watch all of these TV shows. And I relax myself. I pet the cats, I hang out with them, I'm relaxed. Then I can process the message again. I can read it again, or I can read whatever happened, especially if I feel like it's targeted at me. And this does not include online hate, by the way. I don't give a shit about that. This is more people that I know. And I read the message again, and then I process, okay, this is how this person feels. Their feelings are 1000% valid. I don't have to agree with them, but they're valid. But let me see what I did. And then I have to go through these. And it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of time for me to calm down from it. And then after, I can admit, yes, I did this, I'm sorry, and then I can, whatever. I feel like I'm in therapy right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't fucking know why I'm telling you all of this. Like, this is like super personal, but whatever. So I realized on this trip, which is what the point of this video is, that when I'm not alone and I'm driving in a car for 10 hours a day and I'm camping and yeah, it's all fun, I have no room to do any of this work. So my little things where I get like kind of like pissed off a little bit or passive aggressive or something really small annoys me, I have no room to be able to process that, so it lingers and I stay mad and I stay. And even if I calm down a little bit because I distract myself with music, it's still there because I haven't been alone to process that information. Now, again, I still feel super guilty that I need to be alone all the time to be able to process this, because it does take me at least an hour to be able to calm down from one thing. So if somebody messages me like 5 things that I did wrong, I literally have to stay in my bed or in my house and like freak out and cry and like want to die and rip my skin off and like really make sure I don't hurt myself. Not like to kill myself or anything like that, just like hurt myself. Like emotionally and physically, and it's a lot of work to do, but I do it and I know how to do it now, and I know that when it happens, I know that I can do it, which is great because before I didn't know that I could do it. But when I'm in the car and when I'm with people all the time for 21, 22 days, I can't do that. I have no room. So right now, in this moment, is literally like the first time that I have been alone in the last 23 days. Went to IKEA yesterday, went to buy furniture for Zuja, helped them clean their apartment, blah, blah. I don't mind doing that at all because it's relaxed and I feel comfortable. And I don't think it's because of the people that I was around. I feel like even if Aaron and Ash were with me, I still would have kind of had the same type of reactions. They're not rational reactions, and that's what the issue is. Those are the traits that I have of BPD, is that I have a fluctuation of moods and emotions, but I also have like a wave of emotions and feelings that come into one particular situation that I shouldn't have all of these emotions from. So what I need to do is I need to label every single feeling and emotion that I'm feeling for that specific event. Then I need to categorize them as, is this rational? Is this not? And it's really hard to do that because you think everything is rational. Yeah, of course everything I'm feeling is right. No. Yeah, everything you have is valid, but is it rational? That's the issue. So that's where I'm having a lot of issues right now, and that's this mental health update to let you know that I'm kind of like at a point where I've been around people for a little too much that I'm kind of forgetting how to do it, and I'm not allowing myself space. And I never really understood when people are like, oh, I don't have space. I'm like, but you have, what's taking up so much space? And that's what's interesting, because do I need physical space or do I need emotional space? Well, I need both, because I'm in a car and it's a small car and we are 3 people in that car and the car is jam-packed. So I physically don't have room to walk around, to breathe, to do what I need to do, to sit down, to stand up, to lay down, to squat, whatever I need to do. So physically I felt crowded. I felt like the area that I was in was very crowded. Even when I'm outside, I feel crowded because I feel like I have obligations to continue driving after I finish. So there's no like, I am free to take care of myself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not blaming the 2 people I was with. Please, never. If you're watching this, like, no, I had fun. I had a lot of fun on my trip. This is just what I'm realizing my mind can't do when I'm around people for that many days in a row. So physically, I didn't have the space. And if I don't have the space physically, I feel like my brain is literally being constricted. And emotionally, I also didn't have the room. And that's the part that kind of confuses me, that I don't really understand. Why is my mind not have enough space? I think it's because I physically don't have the room, so all of the emotions that I'm processing are staying in here and they can't go outside. And I need them to go outside, and I don't want to project them on other people. And that's what I did in the past, and that's why I lost friends and relationships and stuff like that, because the emotions that I feel inside that are not rational, I project them out. Kind of like my body's like, no, you don't need these emotions, or maybe you need these emotions, but you need to let them out. And I project them on other people, and then those people feel like shit, and then I don't, and it just doesn't work for everybody. So because I know that, I don't want to project anything on anyone, so it stays inside. And I have nowhere, I can't just like open the window and like push them outside. It doesn't work like that. And I feel like I'm like a very like material person, like not physical, but emotional material. Like I see the word sad and I want to push it. Like that's what I see. I'm not like schizophrenic and I see things or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's example in my brain. If you tell me there's a rope in your brain and it's only this small, but you can make it bigger, you can like just stretch it out in your brain because you have imagination, and then tie it into a knot. But the string is this big, you can't tie this into a knot, you need to be bigger. I physically cannot make the string in my brain go bigger. It doesn't work. I need to tie another string to it and then tie another string to that in order to make the string bigger. I don't know why I do that, but it's like I know that it's a physical thing that can't be changed. So I know that the emotion can't just go away. It needs to be put somewhere, and it needs to be processed in a fucking fax or like in a paper shredder, and then like take it out. I can't just be like, oh, burn it, because it's gonna come back with all them fumes. So much talking, I'm sorry. Jesus. All right, great, fantastic. Fuck, I fucking just hit like 15 minutes. Again, I can never just like have a normal video. Anyways, that's where I'm at. I don't think it's like anything related to the medication I'm on or anything like that, because I am getting off and I do still feel good. Okay, that's the most important part, and I want to check in with myself so much. Do I feel okay? Because I have felt like shit for so long and I'm so done. I just want to be okay. I don't need to be like super happy person in the world, but I want to be able to be functional and like do things and work on my thesis and work and like, yo, I look at my schedule that I had when winter semester of 2012. I remember that specifically because that's when Zusha and I started to date. We're not together, by the way. I know I talk about them a lot. We're literally neighbors, though, that's why. And we're close friends. But I look at that schedule and I'm like, holy shit, how did I do that? I like had 5 classes, I was full-time, I worked for 37 hours a week. 37 hours a week, okay? Granted, one of those days I did work from home, but still, I worked 10 hours that day, like when I worked from home. And I took sign language classes and I went to the gym. Like, how? How the hell? I look at my schedule and I'm like, wow, this is giving me anxiety. But then I remember, oh right, I didn't have any mental health issues. And then I put myself back to 2012. I'm like, holy shit, I remember looking at that schedule and be like, oh yeah, look how good I am. I can do all of this. And I did it. That was my best semester. I got like 2 A+. It was fantastic. How can I be like that again? That's where I'm not aiming to be that person, but I'm aiming to be close to that, where I can juggle multiple things at a time and not feel like I'm gonna die if I do more than one thing. Anyways, this was my mental health update. No idea if this probably doesn't help anyone, but I just want to talk. I have no therapy, honestly, and I feel like YouTube's like going down the drain right now, and like I just need to make sure that I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm outie. I'm going to a Western festival with my dad for 10 days. I know, when will I ever be alone? But I'm going to work, so I can maybe afford therapy when I come back. But yeah, so I'm going to work with my dad, and I'll be back on like the 18th of whatever, September. But for now, enjoy the pre-recorded videos that I made, and I will see you soon, and let me know what you think of this video, and if you feel the same way, or if you've ever felt like that, or like, I don't know. My brain, I know, has very strange, it relates things very weirdly, and I have very weird associations with things, and I see colors with emotions. I don't like that, because it's scary, because they're just flashes, and I'm like, can I not see this right now, please? But I'm trying to process it as much as I can, and like, stay human. Anyways, have a great week. Bye.